This is Wario Land 2 for the Game Boy Color. So, the sequel to what was originally still just a Mario spin-off, Wario is now in his own proper series with Wario Land 2, no Mario Land subtitle to be found. So this game, of course, works a bit differently than the first game did, now that Wario's kinda got his own identity. And it also starts where, maybe not where the previous game left off, but we can see the fruits of our labor from last time. That's the big ol' castle that Wario wished for himself. However, these very large men, if the scale is anything to go by, are here, they're shadowy, they're mysterious, and they're up to no good. The birds are fine, however. Thank you, small pixel birds. At least we have you in these trying times. And so, much like Donkey Kong, Wario is now losing his big ol' stash of treasure. But his is an actual literal treasure in this game and not bananas. Oh no! Wario's giant faucet is also in danger. Oh god, the water bills are going to be through the roof. And maybe the water will also be through the roof. That could also be of danger here. I mean, it's out the window so far. Oh, and what's this? A gigantic clock with what looks like a sword in its head? It's an alarm clock. Those dastards. Their evil knows no bounds. Oh, that sound is awful and I hate it. However, setting an alarm was the worst possible choice they could have made, as we start Chapter 1, One Noisy Morning. So press any button and Wario will wake right up, and boy do we ever want to stop that alarm clock. However, of course, Wario immediately senses danger, and must now look through his treasure to make sure he's picked it all up so no one can steal it. He has hidden it in the walls, so it's very tough to find. Sure, the enemy managed to pick up those bags of gold, but did they find the hidden basement gold? Nay, they did not. So, Wario Land 2, like I said before, works much differently as a game than Wario Land 1 did. Wario Land 1 was still very much a Super Mario Land game, and worked like, well, the other Mario Land games. Wario had states of power-up, as well as a tiny state where he was essentially useless. But he also had particular powers. He doesn't this time around. At least not from the various hats he could have picked up in that game. Instead, he basically just starts with the Bull Rush attack that he had in that game. It's very strong, it can break walls, and will just kind of punch through anyone. He can still attack enemies by just kind of like jumping on them and grabbing them, and then just tossing them. He cannot, however, spawn a coin to throw. There's no point to it anyway. There's no level goals like there was in the first game. But also, Wario's not going to waste his money like that. However, his money can be wasted through various means. The first one is getting hits. So, apparently, a gigantic castle was not the only thing Wario got in his trade with the genie. He also got immortality. Wario is unkillable. There is no way to game over in this game. However, the trade-off is, of course, the design decision of this game entirely being based around gathering treasures. I mean, look, Game 1 was about that. You can't say it wasn't. But this game, I feel like you've probably noticed. However, there are more coins than ever. And this is another result of Wario being immortal. So he does not have power-up hats. But that doesn't mean he doesn't get weird various abilities throughout the game. And as you can see from there, being crushed into a flattened state is one of them. No, you don't lose a life from that. Wario just has to exist. We'll talk more about Flat Wario later. I feel like that needs its own segment, but yeah, no, like, there are a lot of cool things about the fact that you are just invincible. I don't think anybody particularly ever complained about this being the gameplay style. Obviously, some people might be like, oh well, it's less challenging because you can't die, but like, the focus of the game is to find treasure. It is satisfying to find treasure. Therefore, getting hit and losing treasure is not really how you want to play the game, so sure, you could just kind of bull rush through it, but it'll feel bad if you do that, so... Look, if you've got the sensibilities of most people playing video games, you don't want to take damage and lose money. That's less money, that's less score. You can't have that. That's bad. That being said, we are going to have a little less money here because we have the first of 2 minigames. So, this minigame is for treasure. I've brought up the tutorial here so that we can see how it's played by the game's own terms. So yeah, since the game is playing itself, I should mention... I think this is also a neat idea. In general, I kinda just really like what this whole game does. Wario Land 2 would absolutely be my favorite Wario Land game, if not for the fact that 4 is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's just so fantastically well made. And as much as I like this game, 4 still beats it out. And also, I haven't played any of 3 or much of 3. I genuinely can't remember. I feel like I probably tried it out at some point. Anyway, though, I'm going to be doing the painful thing and showing you the easy mode of this minigame first and foremost. So, you have to spend 200 whole coins in order to play the minigame like this. However, you win if you do it like this. Like, if you could not take in the entire board in the amount of time it was shown there on easy, you really just need to learn how to take information in quicker, because that is monumentally easy. And honestly, not really worth the 200 coins unless normal mode is a bit too much for you. The tutorial did show the speed of normal mode, but I'll be showing it again later, but normal I still think is manageable. Hard is a bit of a toss-up. You definitely have to be good at quickly recognizing things, so if you are slow to take in information, then stick with normal mode. Again, easy mode, you are pretty much guaranteed to win. But it's double the coins of normal mode. It's painful to watch your wallet get that empty from just doing that. It's also worth noting that that particular minigame is run off the coins you get in a stage. I will explain why I made that distinction in a minute, because we enter the Wario face room, and we're not quite at the end yet. We are nearing the end. However, just because you're close to the exit in Wario Land 2 doesn't mean you're actually done. You might even recognize the goal up above there, but yeah, no, there's still so much treasure to get. I will say, World 1, or Chapter 1 in this game, in this case, or Story 1? Whatever it's called, probably has the easiest secrets to find. The walls are all pretty obvious. If you look closely, you can see the sprite work on what looks like a wall and what is fake. So yeah, it might have been a little difficult to do back on the old Game Boy, of course. Those things were notorious for brightness, and oh, if you were playing this on the old GBA with that brightness, oh, oof, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh well, anyway, alarm clock destroyed. So that is probably the most pressing concern we have right now, because, look, I don't like a normal alarm clock. That one just sounded terrible. Wario was well within his rights to completely obliterate that clock. Okay, so here's the other minigame of this game. This one runs off your total coins that you have amassed from each stage. So basically, the better coins you get overall, the more chances you have with this one. And this one is a number guessing game, and I'm pretty sure that's 8. You don't need to keep guessing, please. Thank you. Oh, that one hurt. That being said, I won't be getting this first, whatever that is, immediately, like, really easily. This minigame can actually be kinda difficult depending on which panels flip over, like, I can't tell what that is. You will want to pay attention to sort of the termination points of each line. So let's see, that could very well be 0. Do I answer 0 here? Yeah, it's 0. There's nothing in the middle. Now, to be fair, if you only see things on the right side, that could also be a 1. There are a few things it could be. Either way though, for completing a stages minigame at the end, the guessing game, you are given one tiny piece of a treasure map. As you might have noticed from the size of that map, we have a lot of stages in this game. It's actually pretty long, especially for a Game Boy game. We've got a lot to do. Especially now that we're entering Stage 2, so... the faucet is on, and that's not good, because that means the rapids in Wario's castle are just so fast that we can't really swim through them easily, so... we do have to be careful about falling in the water. Of course, drowning's not really a problem, but also, we don't want to waste our time either. There aren't many things in the water that will take away our money though, so... again, falling in the water is just a waste of time, and oh god, Wario's on fire! Okay, so water would be pretty great right about now. So that's burning Wario. If Wario is lit on fire, then he will start dashing around the room madly until he burns to a crisp, and then revives like a phoenix from the flame. Except it's Wario, so it's a lot less graceful. But yeah, no, that ability is horrifying, however very useful for breaking certain blocks, and also, if you touch the water before Wario actually burns up, you'll just immediately be put out, so... keep in mind, water's very helpful. Alright, here's this minigame again. I could not play on easy mode even if I wanted to, but trust me, I don't. I wouldn't have played on easy mode if not for the fact that I wanted to demo it, because I do not like losing that many coins. Alright, easy enough. So I think the little puff enemy is probably the easiest enemy to recognize, because it's like, it's basically a completely different color than everything else, and dang, our next treasure is a bed. I mean, look, now that we've left the safety and comfort of Wario's room, I can see how that's a treasure. Don't underestimate the power of a good bed, they're very nice. Anyway, I forget what these fish are called, but they horrify me, I don't like them. I am less terrified of them than I was as a child, but if you are on the same x-axis as they are, they will get very excited and try to charge straight into Wario. I did not like that animation when I was a kid, it just, ugh, it's so creepy. Anyway though, yeah, so this is sort of our introduction to water stages, except you really don't want to be in the water for this one. Again, the rapids will set you back a ways, so... it is best if you stay out for the time being. But as you saw back there, if you have some mastery over swimming controls, you are able to find just a little hidden pocket of treasure over there. So it does pay to be able to adapt quickly. But for now though, it's just being introduced as an obstacle. As was the little puffy guy. We can see what his deal on the field is. If you try to touch him, he just inflates, and you have to throw an enemy at him in order to actually do anything about it. Also, get used to this whole thing, where you get close to the end of a stage, and you hear the end of stage theme, but there's like 2 or 3 more things you need to do and pick up. So you'll just hear this jaunty little tune and be like, no, No, there's still stuff I need to look at. Alright, well, that is the giant faucet taken care of. However, Wario cannot go back to bed. Even if the water bill problem is... I mean... Okay, it wouldn't be solved because it's already been done, the damage was already dealt, but also, I feel as though Wario just weasels his way out of any and all bills, so... Is that a 9 or a 5? I still don't know if that's a 9 or a 5. I still don't know if that's a 9 or a 5. I still don't know if that's a 9 or a 5! You prick. Okay, it's a 5. You can tell because the top right doesn't go down. Oh, that was just the rudest it could have possibly been. Alright, there we go. Alright, so, story 3, let the water out. So yes, turning off the faucet wasn't the end of it. Like I said, the damage was done, and Wario's castle is still flooded. And look, again, Wario probably does not pay his bills if he can get away with it. Though, to be fair, maybe Wario is just like the Joker, and the one thing that can scare him is just the IRS. Maybe that's Wario's one and only fear. I mean, I sure as hell don't know how he would write off any of these, like, little treasure hoarding spots. Alright, so we've got a giant bubble, and therefore we have Wario's next ability, though I'm going to get this out of the way before I get to show it properly. This is probably the least horrifying of Wario's tool sets? A lot of things that happen to him so far are pretty involuntary, including getting trapped in a bubble. Wario doesn't look like he's having a good time, but it can't hurt as much as being on fire. And look, it is able to deliver him through rapids, so... it helps overall, it's fine. He was not crushed into just a small puddle of Wario. Also, damn, getting lucky with those silver coins. We've got the duck enemies returning from Wario Land 1. Super Mario Land 3. Got that title reversed, but either way, they work just like they did in that game. They throw boomerangs at you, so be wary of those, and also, don't acknowledge their existence until you're done getting treasure. Treasure is more important than ducks. Who cares about the ducks? They are nothing before me. I mean, they really are, though. Wario being invincible does just help the situation immensely. Again, I feel like they do a very good job of building a game where, yes, you cannot die, however, it's still engaging, and there's still reward for not getting hit, and that is treasure, treasure, and more treasure. Nintendo just realized, hey, people really like picking up coins, and now we have a character who's very greedy. What if we just put those two together? And they were correct. Treasure collecting games are very fun. Also, if it wasn't obvious, this is a cool section where it shows off that sometimes the things that give you abilities are also obstacles. Oddly enough, you don't always want Wario to be crushed into just a flat pile, or set on fire. Or in this case, again, the far less painful being trapped in a bubble. As with everything else, it's only a minor inconvenience if he does get trapped, but, you know, you still want to avoid it nonetheless, otherwise you just waste a bit of time. More of these dudes, whom I hate. Please go away, I do not like you. And now you're all grouped together. Get out of school, and stop being invincible too. Alright, so there's a small, we'll call it a puzzle here. You basically just have to hit a switch and the water will lower, because Wario cannot do a proper dash underwater. He does have a water attack. I believe it's B button to dash sideways, A button to basically just dash up. But it's not powerful enough to destroy jars or boxes or anything else you need a good shoulder charge for. So, when you're underwater, you will not be able to destroy walls, which either means there are no secrets hidden behind walls, or you've gotta get creative and find a way to remove the water. As was the case over there. Alright, well, this is a pretty easy room. Pardon me, I just need to destroy these vases first. They might have money in them. Wario can't possibly remember what's in what, so, you know, it's kinda just a guessing game. Oh, and we got a random door. It would have been nice if the special stage doors had, like, any indication that they're special stage doors. Sometimes it's easy to tell, like, this one's kinda just in the middle of nowhere. But it would have been nice if there was like a sign next to it, or if there was just a doorway to another dimension. Oh well, anyway, here's hard mode. So my suggestion with hard mode is just practice on normal mode until you can figure out, like, what to you is the most distinct about any given panel. I think that's a witch hat? I think that's a witch hat. So yeah, once you are able to just, like, figure out any given tell at a glance, hard mode is only 50 coins, which... it's very easy to get 50 coins in this game. You'd have to get hit a lot if you wanted to not be able to have 50 coins for a play. Okay, pardon me. Alright, I believe we're nearing the end of the stage, yes? Because this is like the big, water section. Oh, this is what, teaches us how to roll, which I will promptly ignore to get those coins, and then do. Alright, so, big skull block. Your time is nigh, I just had to grab those coins. Never forget coins. Okay, to be fair, I have passed up some coins, if they're annoying. I'm sorry, this is not a true Wario Land roleplay run. I'm not completely in sync with Wario. Oh well, he'll just have to live with it. Unless, of course, my Wario sync meter reaches 0%, in which case, it's me who's gonna be in trouble. Alright, please be less of a dick this time. Could be a 9? Could also be a 3. Or an 8, it could be so many things! Reveal something on the left side, you ass. Okay, that's a 3. That is... wait, what? Why? Oh wait, no, it isn't. Oh wow, okay, so... Past me was smart. Thank God she was the one playing, because I was just like, no, it's clearly a 3. No, the game was still a dick. Game still had to be an ass. One of these days, I won't get so unlucky with those damn turnaround things. Flips, whatever. Words. Alright, so, story 4, go down to the cellar. We've taken care of the pressing issue. And now we have a pressing issue, so, Flat Wario. In addition to making the music all goofy, Flat Wario can glide, just by kind of floating downwards. If you hold up, I believe, Flat Wario can also jump higher. Actually, I think you can... can't you just jump higher normally? I don't do it often, so I think I've forgotten. Next time I record, I'll make sure to check, but... Flat Wario can definitely jump up higher if you jump straight up and hold up. Otherwise, he'll do a very shallow jump, which might not help you all that much. Usually, though, you just need to kind of glide downwards, so... that's what you gotta keep in mind. You should also keep in mind that the two methods we've seen so far for uncrushing Wario is... either just getting unflattened by a bat? Or having water drip on him? Water is very frequently a cure for what is ailing Wario. So thank goodness precious life-saving water is still on Wario's side. I don't know, maybe this is supposed to be like a curse that Wario doesn't see as a curse. He did gain his castle from a genie, so I don't know, maybe the genie tried to pull like a monkey paw thing, even though he looked perfectly nice in the ending. That could have been a ploy. He might have still liked Syrup more. Captain Syrup, the notorious pirate who Wario came to blows with, whom we defeated last— okay, actually I'm pretty sure I did a high jump that time, so yes, he can hold up to jump higher. Anyway though, yeah, Captain Syrup, real jerk. Thank goodness we've defeated her, and proven that Wario is #1. And I'm sure we'll never have to worry about her again, even though we are seeing what is distinctly her minions throughout the castle. Anyway though, I don't know where I was going with that. Also, if you get grabbed by the bats without being flat, they will actually just steal coins from you, while lifting you straight up into the air, which is actually an important thing to remember. Okay, so— oh right, I remember. So yeah, Genie Curse. Maybe the genie really did like Syrup more, and Wario wished something like, I wish to have a house for the— I don't know, forever, for the rest of my life. Probably forever, like, I want a house that I have forever with riches that I will keep for eternity. And then the genie was just like, oh, oh motherfucker, you are about to be cursed with immortality! Oh, you sweet summer child, you are going down. I'm going to make it so that nothing can kill you, but you will be incredible pain anytime something bad happens to you. Your bones will be squashed into just a very small oval, but you will live yet still, forevermore, in this cursed appearance. This awful state. This awful, painful state you're in. But Wario, of course, does not care, because this is just a means for getting treasure for him. So, of course he doesn't have to care about his own mortality. He's Wario, he's gonna win. Even if he is just horribly massacred every day of his life. Looking for the edges, top left. And the other thing is like, okay, look, the thing about mortality that everybody complains about is like, oh, you know, you're immortal, you have to watch everybody around you that you know and love die. Oh yeah, and this is the point where the getting lifted up by bats is relevant. Just get lifted up until you think you're above, and then just shimmy and shake out of it. Anyway though, yeah, right, however, do you think Wario cares about the passage of time? I don't think Wario cares about the passage of time. I think people around him will just deteriorate and age and turn to dust around him. One day, the cast of WarioWare will get old, and they won't be able to make microgames anymore. Do you think Wario is going to reflect on the good times he had, and wish well for his friends in their twilight years? No! He's going to replace them immediately, and make money with different microgames. He doesn't care! One day, young Cricket's gonna be old Cricket. He's gonna be tossed out with the rest of them. Doesn't matter how much of a crush Mona has on Wario. She's also gonna get old one day, and Wario won't care about that. He'll still be young, and he's still going to make money from microgames. We'll all die, but there'll still be a consumer base for microgames. The next generation will replace us as buyers, and then the generation after that will surpass them over and over again. Wario is the one who will oversee the passage of time. That genie thought it got one over on him, but no, all it's done is create a cruel watcher over the course of humanity. One who will loom over all of us, collecting riches, no matter how little all of us have. Wario will have more. Anyway, Wario can also be zombified if a zombie throws its head at him. So do be careful of that, lest you become one of the undead. At the moment, Zombie Wario is pretty useless, so you either need to find a source of light or a source of water. Also, here's an empty room. This'll be relevant later. Alright, so anyway, as for the stage itself, apparently there's a giant snake here. We didn't see that in the introduction, but they did put a giant snake in Wario's basement, I guess to guard his now empty treasure hoard. Hidden door here, very nice. Now, you can probably guess where the giant snake is, considering there is a door with a skull over it. However, there is more treasure to be had, and just because this is a boss stage, does not mean that we are exempt from the usual treasure collection. No matter what the stage is, assume there's a treasure in it. Alright, now that's just a big ol' loop that we're going to have to take because, again, have not found the minigame treasure yet. I did have the coins to find it almost immediately, but now I could play on easy mode if I wanted to. However, I did want to take that loop first. Just cause I think this is the most efficient path through the stage. I could be wrong, but I only had to do this bit twice, so I think I'm right. Alright, down here, we have a door, and yeah, I did say we're only doing that section twice. Like I said, my Wario sync rating is gonna go down for this, but I'm sure it's fine. Alright, now, can I play better than past me? Probably. Or, I'll play as well anyway. Bottom left. The question really is, am I going to play worse than past me, which I've already proven I'm worse at guessing than she is. However, I can do this minigame pretty easily still. I'd also imagine a lot of my advice is different if you're playing on an original Game Boy Color. TBH. A much smaller screen size would probably be, a little more difficult to work with. Alright, here's the giant snake. So, of course, Wario is immortal, so bosses cannot kill him, but they can inconvenience him. If Wario is eaten by the snake, it will, with much force, turn him into an egg and send him into the ceiling. So yeah, that's where that empty room comes in. That is just the boss deposit area. That's where the boss deposits Wario. But it didn't happen this time. Instead, the snake is dead. Or just very dizzy. Either way, we have a glove. And with that, Chapter 1 is done. Or at least it will be, once we obtain this last map piece. And I mean, we've gotta have it. Look, it's a treasure map. Treasure's right there in the name. Wario has to have this. Alright, could be 6... Ooh, I think that was actually risky, right? Like that, I'm pretty sure that could have also been a 6, so... clearly, past me is a daredevil. Ah well, anyway, that's it for this episode of Wario Land 2. See you next time when we give those bandits a chase. No one steals money except for Wario. If you're a thief and you're not Wario, you're dead meat.